Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Badger. Today we are going to be building ourselves a colonial townhouse. Um, it's a very old house and it's a townhouse. So I'm building it in the high school years world, and I'm putting in a backyard right now. And it's a pretty expensive townhouse, and it's small as well, but it's expensive because I guess it's a townhouse, so that's why it's expensive. Now, I was putting in a third floor, that way I could try to put in the trim, because it wouldn't let me do it without the floor. So, now, at the beginning of the video, I was just trying to do a regular townhouse, but it ended up just turning into um, a fancy thing. It turned it really fancy, so I decided I was going to do a colonial townhouse. Um, I probably should have sped up the exterior. Okay, there it goes. You missed a lot of footage. I don't know what happened there, but it looks like you just missed a lot of footage. Yeah, that's what it turned into. You can see what I did with it. But I honestly don't know what happened there. Okay, I'm going into the interior. Um, and I'm trying to put in a floor plan. And in these old houses, they had this thing called a parlor, which is where we'll talk about parlors later. But they're basically at the front of the house, a little front of the house that's a parlor. We'll get more on. We'll talk more about that later. But right now, we're focusing on trying to get the stairs in to fit all nice and properly. And so I'm just trying to move them around, trying to make them take as less space as possible. And I ended up putting them in that little corner there, and I got rid of that window. Um, so, yeah, we're just putting in stairs, and I'm trying to get some walls around there. And the room where the stairs is in, that's going to be the dining room area and kitchen. And the living room is going to be that big room next on the right. And we're putting in a bathroom. In old houses, they actually were less open plan, so they had more closed off areas, so your living room wasn't connected to your kitchen. It was a separate room. So here we have bedrooms and a bathroom, and I was going to do an ensuite, but it wasn't working out, so I got rid of it later in the video. So as you can tell, there's 2 bathrooms. So there doesn't need to be 3 bathrooms in this building, right? The 1 downstairs and 2 upstairs, there's no need for that, so I fixed it later in the video. And this floor plan, honestly, it was pretty difficult to do because of just the way the exterior is designed. And I'm putting the doors all around in here. I'm about to be finished with the floor plan. It's almost done, you guys. Bear with me. We're going to be editing the floor plan throughout the video. Yeah, it's looking pretty nice. And I love the area upstairs, but I kind of feel like I could take more space out of it. I wish I did, but it's not really possible that I could do that. This is the parlor, and parlors are for when you have guests, you don't want them into your living room. So a lot of rich people, when they had rich houses back in the day, they didn't want their guests in the kitchens or living room or the main rooms. They wanted them in this one room, so they built it, and they put their most expensive stuff in it so they could look expensive and cool. And this is where they hang out with their guests. So it started becoming a trend where you would have a parlor and you would have all these couches and all that stuff, basically a separate living room for your guests at the front of the house. So I like the idea of having this house. It's really old. It doesn't have any TVs. It's kind of off the grid. Because I didn't... Basically what the history of this is what I'm saying is probably it was a really old house and people moved out of it. They died. Their family died and the city took over it. And now they're trying to sell it. They didn't do really any renovations. They did like minor renovations, but it didn't do a lot of renovations, so it's still kind of that old vibe going on in here, which is kind of unique, and I love it. Honestly, I think I might play in here. So as you can see in the parlor, I'm putting in a lot of expensive furniture, and I'm trying to see what furniture looks nicest in here, and I ended up going with that kind of green and red vibe. Now, I try to avoid that color combination because it's kind of Christmassy, and I'm not trying to do Christmas vibes right now. So, It's not screaming too Christmassy, so it's fine, but I try to avoid that if I can. Let me know if you have that problem as well. And I'm putting in a fireplace in here, so it's nice and cozy. Because I guess back in the 1700s, they didn't have any air conditioning, which probably sucked, so they need some fireplaces. Or they didn't have heaters, basically, is what I'm saying. So if it got really cold, then how are you gonna warm yourself up? And now I'm editing the exterior a little bit, and I'm putting in some pillars, and just changing a few things up. If you see anything wrong with the build, don't worry, I fixed it later in the video. Because I really looked at it. And I'm just putting in some things on the exterior to make it look all nice and pretty. And that's basically the entire footage that you lost, just me doing that. So it's really not that important that we lost that footage. Um, yeah, I'm having a lot of footage losing problems. If you've been keeping up with my channel, you'll know that I have a lot of footage problems. I'm starting out, so of course I will. And I tried putting in a TV in there, but I ended up getting rid of it later because I wanted to go with that whole nobody really renovated this place kind of vibe. So I got rid of the TV later. And I'm just trying to put in some nice, inexpensive, good-looking furniture in here, which I'm really loving this parlor. I think it's my favorite part of the build. It's really unique, and I love this style. I want to build in this style more, and it's just, I had a really fun time building this, and I hope you have as much of a fun time watching this as I did building this, because it's really something not a lot of people do when they build these old houses. Um, I honestly don't know. I'm putting in some decorations and I'm putting it on the wall and I'm trying to see what looks good. It's all nice and pretty like. And I'm putting in some paintings. And here I am. I'm going back to, looks like I'm working on the kitchen slash dining room. I think I got rid of the TV later. I don't know if I did. I hope I did. This build is on the gallery, so if you want to get that, it's on the gallery. My gallery name is actually, my EA name is in the description of my channel, if you want to go find that out, and you can see all the builds that I do. Yeah. So here, I'm getting rid of the TV, and I'm putting in actual paintings. And see, I have this off-the-grid furniture vibe going on in here, which is, I kind of love it. Um, I'm not really happy with the countertop color or texture, but it's whatever. Because I couldn't find anything else that was really matching the old vibe. I have mostly modern kitchen stuff. Here we go. I'm putting in a dining room table, and it was extremely hard to see to make this thing fit because this is such a small dining room. Honestly, I wish I could have done something better with the floor plan, but it was so difficult. Let me know if you had any different ideas that what you have done with the floor plan, because it's kind of cramped in here. And the hardest thing here is trying to find good wallpaper because I don't have a lot of good wallpaper or custom content wallpaper that is actually designed to be used in this way. So I did a lot of fancy stuff in here, and I just went around, and I like to go around when I see some decorations and put it in different rooms in the house. When maybe I'm working on the dining room and I see something that would work good in the parlor, I would put it in there. So I'm putting in a rug and make it nice. I don't like how the rug. Oh, okay, we're moving on, so you can't really see it. Anyways, I'm putting in some nice, good couches. I couldn't find any, like, antique-looking couches. I don't have a lot of antique stuff. Not a lot of people make that kind of custom content, because this isn't really a popular build idea, but I think people should, because it's a really fun idea and really fun to build, and I don't really do this stuff a lot. Even when I played Bloxburg before this, or before my YouTube channel, when I played Sims or Bloxburg, I didn't really do any, antique looking places or builds. So it was kind of fun to experiment. Um, all these, I'm trying to make these couches not look so expensive because I don't want it to be really expensive. I want it to be kind of cheap. But like you're mid class, but you're comfortable. Yeah, I want it to be comfortable. And I put in a lot of candles and lamps. I really liked candles because I couldn't find really many antique lamps. But you have to work with what you get. And I kind of think the living room, I left it kind of minimalist, which I wasn't really going in the vibe of the build, and it doesn't really fit the vibe. But it was hard to fit so much stuff in here, and it was big but small at the same time. It's hard to explain. Um, Honestly, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's okay. Now it took me like 10 minutes trying to place that, so that was kind of a fun experience for me. Um, yeah, these corner shelves I really liked. They helped take up space. And I should have put curtains in here, but I was like not playing with curtains. I do not like doing curtains. And I put in pillows. Pillows are a good idea, but here's the thing. I don't think it's gonna work with your sim sitting on the couch. It would probably clip. So I got rid of them, even though it looks nice. Now here's the bathroom, and it was hard to do an antique style bathroom because all this stuff is modern. Nobody really does antique bathrooms, and I don't know what they look like anyway. I've never seen one before, so I tried to do my best here. I probably should have looked at inspiration, but it is what it is. I'm happy with it, and you're not going to be really spending most of your time in the bathroom anyway if you're going to download this or playing this. Um, if you're wondering where all my custom content is, there is my Curse Forge account name is in the description of my channel. So if you want to go to my Curse Forge, you can see all the mods that I have. Um, that's where it is. So if you want to download any of my builds, you go to Curse Forge, you get all my mods, and then you can download my build, and it would work. I don't recommend doing it without mods because then it will delete most of the stuff on here. Um, I would do without mods if I could, but I don't have a lot of packs in the game, so it would be kind of difficult. Now, in this, I don't know if I used Get to Work and uh, high school years. I used a little bit of City Living. I don't know if I used any of the City Living, but if I did, I used a little bit. So you shouldn't need City Living if you're downloading this from the gallery. Honestly, those are really good packs. I just don't like Get to Work. Get to Work sucks because the world sucks. It's just no. But I got it. I didn't spend money on it. I got it for like Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass. It gifted it to me or something like that. I don't know. Honestly, it's weird because I remember having cats and dogs, and all of a sudden I joined my game and I didn't have cats and dogs, and I had Get to Work instead. So that was kind of weird. I don't know how that happened. If anybody has any idea how that happened or what I could do to get back cats and dogs, please let me know. Anyways, back to the video. I tried to put like a little bit of closets under the stairs. I didn't put anything in there, but I try to keep it realistic and not realistic at the same time. So maybe in real life that would be maybe a laundry room or something like that. But it felt kind of weird not putting anything there, so that's what I just put something there. Now that's the master bedroom. No, this is actually a girl's bedroom, and I wanted to do a girl's bedroom because maybe a girl or a teenage girl lived here. So this is the girl's bedroom. And I heard that blue used to be a girl color, so I tried to do a bit of blue, but I couldn't find any like blue makeup stuff or anything like that. So that's why I ended up using pink. Um, yeah, and I was playing around trying to find a good and a bed that would fit the vibe of this place. That's gonna be the wardrobe. That's the bed I choose. That's gonna be the wardrobe, and then here's next to it's gonna be the vanity. Um, so I was trying to put some nice, good clothes in there. And right there is gonna be another wardrobe area because yes, and there's a mirror. Um, Nice, I like the vanity. I put in a nice vanity going on in here. Put in some makeup. Um, and on top of the bed, I put a clock. Hold on, give me a minute. There's some paintings. And I put some paintings in there. Try to make it nice and cluttered. And I ended up putting clocks throughout the house and a clock above the bed. Now that kind of sounds like if you had a clock above your bed, something bad's gonna happen. Kind of like, things like that. That sounds like that would be a popular thing that people would believe. So that's kind of fun that I have that. Here we're putting in, I wanted an office, so I split it up, that bedroom, into 2 rooms, so that I could have my office. So that's nice. So I was trying to make the bedrooms a little bit bigger, and the office is a little bit bigger, so it wasn't so little. And I like the way it turned out. Okay, we're putting in some ceilings. We're changing the ceiling color, and now we are doing the decorations. So, oh, no, we're not. We're changing the layout a little bit more. That's always fun. I love when we change layout. Sorry for the pause. I do that sometimes. Okay, getting back to it. This is going to be the office. And for the office, I was trying to find a typewriter, but the only thing that they had in here was a little case with a typewriter in it for, like, display. So, that wasn't really fun. I wish the game actually had, like, an actual typewriter. That would have been amazing. So I ended up just putting this antique computer. Yeah, I'm not sure when computers were invented, so I like to pretend that's a typewriter. Just pretend it's a typewriter, and yeah, that way I put like a little cabinet in here next to the desk, and I put some books in here, and some decorations. So I didn't like those books, so I switched them out for better ones. So here's the better ones. I put in some nice old books that I could find, and I put them in there. And I put in some decorations. And I'm putting in some more stuff in the kitchen because it was kind of bland in the kitchen, so I put that more stuff in there. And I'm putting in some pictures in the bookshelf here. Now, I wanted to put like a Murphy bed, like a bed that turns into a couch, but that doesn't exist in the game. Now, Murphy beds do exist, but I don't have the pack for that, unfortunately. But if I did, I would try to see if I could fit one in here. Because if you're going to have an office, it's always good that you would want to have a Murphy bed in there so you could have a guest room, right? So I put in that couch in there, and I was going to put a plant behind it. That way it looks nice, and it doesn't have just that empty space in there. And in plants, I actually found some trees. I don't know why they, the custom content people that made the mods put the trees in the plant category. Like the interior plant category. I don't know why it wouldn't be in the outdoor plants. But it is, so I'm just curious as to why they would have done that. I put a nice lamp in there, and the bathroom upstairs, it's not going to have a shower. It's just going to have a toilet and a sink. And it's just small in here. And I love how the toilet and the sink take up all the space in there. It's really nice. I like that bathroom. It's a good bathroom. I think I did better on that one than I did on the one downstairs. But honestly, it's whatever. Now, here's the, another bedroom. I think it's maybe like a guest bedroom, or just, I don't know, it's just a bedroom that I put in there with a wardrobe and stuff. It's just a bedroom, right? Do whatever you want with it. I don't know about the history in here. I haven't done any lore, and I'm not going to make lore up on the spot right now. We do have a bit of a pause here. Okay, and I'm putting in some nightstands, and it was hard to find a good spot for the bed, because there's not really a really good spot for the bed in here. So that's kind of unfortunate. Now, I loved those, like, we'll get to that later, but here I'm putting in a nice cabinet or wardrobe, which reminds me of the cabinet. There we go. That's the thing from high school years that I just put up there above the bed, that little shelf. And I love that. I think it's amazing. It looks like it's custom content, honestly. That is really good. Okay? Props to The Sims for making that. I love it. It's just great. Now I tried to get a good carpet in there that wasn't really too green. I wanted it to mix in that white with the green, so there's kind of a middle ground between it. So that's what I found. Now here's the master bedroom. I did, my game crashed while I was in the middle of the master bedroom, so I just felt the urge to save here. Which I really love how I felt that urge because it crashed later. So I had to change some things. And I was playing around where I wanted the bed, and I ended up putting it here. So, if you're finding any inconsistencies, like me putting the nightstands in twice, that's probably why. It's because I, forgot to save. Or, no, not forgot to save, it's just the game crashed. No, the game didn't crash. It was probably just, I accidentally updated my computer while I was in the game. That's what happened. I didn't want to explain that, because we're going pretty fast, so I didn't know if I had any time to explain that. Right now we're putting in the, mirror, and, a clock in there. I put a little plant on the top of that. The plant didn't go on the next wardrobe that I put on there, but it's whatever. Put in some nice lamps. And a picture above that. And a nice little couch. And right around here, when I got that couch in there, is where my, or I updated my computer accidentally. So, yep, here it is. That's why I'm putting in the nightstand twice, and lamps twice, and doing all that. Putting in a rug, and some more pictures. I don't know if this is as cluttered as the rest of the house, but it was kind of hard to clutter. Same story with the living room, how it was just kind of hard to clutter. It was too big and too small at the same time. Honestly, I don't know if I'm liking the floor plan. Let me know if you would have changed, like, made the balcony a little bit smaller, so you can make the bedroom bigger. Let me know if you would have done that. In real life, for me, I don't really like, balconies being so big, or in the bedroom. I wouldn't like that. If I owned an actual house by myself, I wouldn't like that. We're doing a tour. So here's the parlor. I loved it, and I used that shelf from high school years. Here's the living room. You get your dining room table and your kitchen, which is a pretty small kitchen. I think it's the smallest kitchen I've ever built in this game. I don't know. Well, on my YouTube, it's the smallest kitchen I've ever built. Here's just a nice little walkthrough tour that you can get. And this is the end of the video. If you like this video, be sure to like. And if you want to see more of this my content, subscribe so you can get notifications for when I post my new videos. And I'm publishing it on the gallery. It's called, I forgot what it's called. It's called Continental Townhouse. And I put it on the wall, and I put it on the gallery. Yeah, anyways, be sure to like and subscribe. Have a good rest of your day.